Peace. This your boy Tyson from Urban Life News magazine. We have the great Peter Shue. We want to just introduce you to him, and we want to appreciate Mr. Shue for having us in his home, man. This is a privilege and an honor, and we're going to talk to him. We're going to allow you guys an opportunity to get inside his mind and see his experiences, see the game, see the world, see the conditions of these institutions through his mind and through his experiences. So, Mr. Shue, thank you for having us, man, and it's an honor.
Thank you for having me. You know, that wanted to interview me, and I appreciate it. You're coming all the way out here to interview me, and we're gonna make this a hell of an interview. And feel free to ask me any questions.
Absolutely. So, I got a list. I got a few things that I just wanted to touch on that'll give some insight to those specifically young men and women who are in the institutions at an alarming rate. We know the statistics is about 85% of our communities populate almost 100% of the prison systems. And so for the sake of clarity, and for those who may think they know you, but really don't, or really may not, or they may have heard some things and seen some other interviews on YouTube and Instagram, or heard some stories of you in the prisons, what's your name and what borough are you originally from?
Well, I'm Peter Shue. I am the original. And my thing is this, I'm from the Bronx, but I don't claim the Bronx, I claim New York. I'm from New York. They ask me what borough, then I tell them the borough, but I'm from New York. And that's one of the problems now with New York brothers. They don't always try to, confine themselves. I'm from Brooklyn, I'm from the Bronx, I'm from Staten Island, I'm from Manhattan. Nah, you from New York. And that's what happens, when they go away too. When they get locked up, they start talking out their verbal stuff. You make New York look like clowns when you do that. So that's why people got to stop that. From New York, and that's the strongest town in the United States. So, we have to represent in a better way. And since I came home, I see a lot of things that's crazy out here, with the young people growing up.
Absolutely.
But I claim New York. I don't never claim nothing else.
And it's funny that you mentioned the institutions, because I did some federal time, and inside the federal institutions specifically, there's a lot of segregation. The Brooklyn car, the Bronx car, the Queens car, the Long Island car, and in comparison to other states, it seems that they're a little bit more unified in that regard.
Well, and when it comes to that, right, I pay that no mind, because I think, them brothers that do that is ridiculous, and that just shows you how naive brothers be, from that learning and knowing. And yes, other states do represent better than us, because they say where they from, and they don't say the boroughs. They say, I'm from DC, I'm from Philly, I'm from Detroit. I know people from everywhere, so we the only ones that do that dumb shit. And I don't mean to curse, but it bothers me that how naive we get. Just like the West Coast started with the gang stuff, we brought the gang stuff to the East Coast, and it didn't do nothing for us. All these young dudes is going in and out of jail, we're not getting no money. So it's crazy. So but it is what it is. Everybody gotta learn on their own and be their own leaders, because I don't build followers, I build leaders. So everybody has their right to make their own decision. But wow, decisions that the brothers make now out here is crazy.
Yeah, that's a fact. Being that we kind of like, I wanted to save some of that you said for later, but it's good because it'll take us right into some more basic information, just so we can so people who are watching and later on reading can understand who you are, what we're talking about, and then we can move on to some other things. So how much time did you do, and what was your charge?
Well, my charges was conspiracy to purchase and conspiracy to redistribute. So I had, I had a gun case too, possession of a gun. So I got 296 months sentence, which is 24 years, 8 months, if I'm not mistaken. I ended up doing 21 years.
Okay.
So that's what happened. And, it's like, it's a lot of time to do. And a lot of people are not here to talk about the time they do because they either die in jail or they come home and be so sick they can't get online. But, I have a strong foundation with credible brothers that stood up, and I love them to death. And I give a shout out to all of them, the ones that came home, like the 2 lynch mobs, the Ice in them, from Boy George K. So, the Eden War mob, so many brothers that came home that's good dudes, and I'm happy for them. Gotti and them from Brooklyn. It's I may forget some people because I know so many people, but I love all of them. And the ones in jail that's never coming home, that I wish could come home and deserve movies after them instead of these rats getting all the movies. Guy Fisher, Underwood, Peter Masantos, Prince, Scooter, Tut, Lou Hawes, Ken Do, all these brothers, we hung out together, had good times, and it's sad for me to know that it might be a chance that I might not be able to hang out with them anymore in the future. But I get, I speak to a couple of the brothers that's in there, and we correspond and kick it all the time, and I'm trying to get things right so I can take care of all of them.
No question.
So
that's all. That's honorable, and not for the sake of the interview, because in my mind this is not an interview. This is me having the honor of having a conversation with someone who came before me. You know what I'm saying? I came up in the institutions. I did 3 bids, and just like the names you mentioned, I heard your name as well. So in New York State, these guys that you mentioned were essential people in our communities at those times, and sometimes we tend to forget that. And I believe the whole world is emulating these men, whether directly or indirectly, and we don't give true homage and respect.
Well, anybody that want to keep it real know that the rap game, the entertainment game, all that stuff came from us. So you have to really salute a lot of brothers from back in the day. I know everybody salutes Peter Shue, and they love me, and I love them too. And don't get it twisted, they my brothers and sisters. But we have people that came before me. So you had Guy Fisher, you had Underwood, you had Mike Mellon and them, you had my man Romar Ice. You had so many good brothers, Fat Stevie. You had a whole bunch of brothers that came, Peter Santos. That's good dudes. We could do movies off of, Chaz. Shout out to my man Chaz too. That's my brother, and he's got a movie deal going, and that's going to be an excellent movie because it's unique what they was doing. He has the bank cases, so that's going to be real. I think it's going to be a real super movie, to tell you the truth. So I'm rooting for him, and then we have brothers like Guy Fisher, who has something to do with Apollo. We had Underwood, who has something to do with New Edition, Slave. So these brothers deserve their dues, and it disgusts me, and I get so bent out of shape because they do all these movies and stuff over these snitches, and they don't do it over the real dudes. And that's if you look at all the movies that came out, and I get tired of going back and forth with the snitches. All right, they did what they did, and I don't respect them, and I don't want to be around them, right? But my thing is this: they still grown men, but they don't deserve what the brothers I just named deserve. The lynch mobs, all of them deserve movies. You ain't got to do a movie on me. If you don't like Peter Shue, fine, do a movie on them. I mean, a lot of people always talk about, I got more money than everybody out there, and that's not true. And the whole thing is, you wouldn't even know that if it was true, because we don't know who get the most money. I don't go to Terry's house and knock on his door, see how much he made today. You know what I'm saying? If he's a rival of drug dealer. Yeah. So the whole thing is, you can't really elaborate on things like that.
No question.
But I was just happy I made some money. You see what I'm saying? So I'm happy that, you know, I'm mentioning these names with the other brothers, and you know, there's a brother came out with a T-shirt. He got my name on the T-shirt with Guy Fishing on it. And I applaud that, and I'm humble when it comes to that. But what I want to see a change is, let my people go. When it comes to all drug cases, let them come home. That shit they doing, giving you 30 years, 40 years life, you know, that don't make no sense for a drug case. Where child molesters and pedophiles getting less time. Rapists, they get less time. Let my people go. All drug dealers, non-violence, let them go off the top. The ones that got violence that had something to do with the hustle game, let them have to prove themselves in jail that they rehabilitated themselves, but let them come home too. Because, okay, we know bodies is on the case in some of these people's cases, but you have to look at it from a level of reality. And the level of reality is either you killed me or I killed you. And so if it comes down to that, then I got to take you out. So them dudes that had to take dudes out during the drug wars and the drug games, those shouldn't be like a cold-blooded murder. Nah, because they had to survive. So yes, you have to punish them, because the Lord says thou shalt not kill. You have to punish them, but you ain't got to keep them in jail the rest of their lives. And now the non-drug dealers, the non-violence ones that just had drug cases, man, you're supposed to let them come on right away. Because who did more damage? An individual that molested your kid, your son or your daughter, or raped a lady, or a man that just sold drugs? Who did more damage? You ain't forcing that person to buy the drugs. That person is coming to you to buy the drugs. It'd be different if you forcing them to shoot that dope, smoke that crack, smoke that weed, whatever they doing. But in reality, they're going to get that from somewhere else. The only reason the government don't sanction it because they can't make money out of it. Once they can make money out of it, then it's going to go. Everything goes legal. That's why weeds get ready to go legal, because they can make money out of it. So that being said, why are these brothers in jail for selling drugs? Should just be a businessman trying to make money for themselves. They didn't kill nobody. You know what I'm saying? They didn't force a person to use the drugs. But meanwhile, a pedophile, he's going to play with kids. That's his attention in his mind. You know, my mind ain't going to when I was selling drugs, wasn't going to one particular person and say, yes, I got to give all my drugs to him and make him use it. He's going to use these drugs or else. Nah, they was them coming to you. Hey, I got $50. What can I get? I got $100. So that is no reason for to lock a man up for the rest of his life. You see what I'm saying? But that's what they doing. And then they make these movies of these snitches that told on everybody, got everybody life, and they getting applause, movies, handshakes, money when they come home. It's disgusting.
Parties.
It's disgusting to me. And you know, nobody gave me nothing when I came home. You know what I'm saying? I'm
sorry, but they give block parties and celebrations.
I had to almost die for people to come together and put money together to pay for my treatments. And that, when I first came home, that was shout out to Mackenzie, Little Rob, and Bam. Those dudes, and Bam is my man. Okay. And Mackenzie, me and Mackenzie grew up together. Mackenzie looked like me. So we had a bond, and they fulfilled. They showed me so much love, so I had to cry because they fulfilled their bond with me as a man. I was their brother, and they said nah. Mackenzie said nah, we can't let you die. You know, you the OG. We got to do something to get you right. And he said everybody put their money together, and that's how I found these people that cured me of my ailment.
Okay.
So,
I mean, it's something else. And you know the interesting thing about pedophiles and rapists is that they gotta sign something when they coming home, because the system already knows that they're gonna do it again if they're not under scrutiny. Like, you can't rehabilitate because that's a sickness. Yeah. A person who takes something from a child or abuse somebody who can't defend themselves,
that's going to damage them the rest of their life.
Absolutely, and it's going.
So why they don't go to jail? Why they
go to jail, but they let them right back out. They don't do no time.
I was with them. in some of these spots, and they brag about coming home and doing that again to another little boy.
Yeah.
I slapped the daylights out of one of them dudes for that.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is, the system is twisted. What you supposed to do time for, you're not doing time for. What you doing time for is something that is not that serious to where you have to do life for a drug case.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I know one guy who did 4 years for 3 grams of crack. 3 grams of crack, and not to justify, right? But 3 grams of crack can fit in the palm of your hand. That's 3 years, or that's a program, or that's some rehabilitation. There needs to be something that's put in place to get this guy right on track. Because if a young kid is selling crack, that means we're overlooking some need. And again, we're not justifying, but that means he's hungry, some needs are not being met, so he's left up to his own devices and he's trying to find a way.
Well,
so we can intervene on that.
You had told me you go to talk to these kids, right? But let me tell you something. It's not really the kids' fault. It's the parents' fault.
Oh, that's a fact.
Because, let me tell you something. Half these children don't even know about religion. I don't care what religion you into. You could be Buddhist, Muslim, Christian. I believe in God. That's so. So my thing is this, right? In any of them books, they're not going to teach you to kill. They're not going to tell you to kill. They're not going to tell you to disrespect people. They're going to say honor your mother and father. These kids have no clue what's going on out here. And so what happens is they look to fit in. So that's like if you wearing, we was just talking about on the Timbs. If you wearing a certain pair of Timbs all your life, that's what you're looking for. See what I'm saying? But you have to broaden your horizon. You have to go and search for your identity. You can't sit in front of, like a lot of dudes, because you could relate, sit in front of BET TVs and want to watch girls all day and rappers and I'm going to be Jay-Z. How many people could be Jay-Z? I'm going to be Michael Jordan.
It's only one Jordan.
You know what I'm saying? But the whole thing is, you have to get things that fit in for you. You have to get into something that fit in for you. If you want to be a computer analyst, be the best computer analyst out there. If you want to make movies, be the best one to make movies. I changed my life and went and started writing movie scripts and books because I knew I couldn't come home and be a drug dealer no more.
Okay.
So I had to change my game because the tongue out here is at an all-time high. So there's no way I would put myself in a situation to never come home for a drug case. Whereas it shouldn't be like that. Now if I go out there and grab somebody's little kid, I get less time. So what? I mean, you tell me what's wrong and what's right. It's crazy. The whole thing is unbalanced, and you see what's going on out here, and they'll go raving and going crazy over the stuff that's going on out here with the police doing something to people and Kaepernick, the football player. Listen, let me tell you something.
On that smoke screen.
All this stuff is going on way before all this stuff's happening now. It's just they got the cameras to catch it now. Police was putting bags of dope on you and locking you up back in the day. My cousin know that they was doing that. They was beating you up for no reason. They was, one police beat me up for no reason back in the day, and put a bag of dope on me and the guy came by and would say, "Damn, that's enough. You're trying to come to my aid." Some guy, I didn't know him.
Trying to intervene.
He handcuffed him and beat him up too. So I mean, that's how it was back in the day. So what we go through now is just something that's coming to light. But everything that's been talked about recently has been going on forever. The jails, how they kill people in jail. If you don't have no family ties, they kill you and leave you under the ground somewhere. No they was doing that back in the day too in the state. People ain't know that. They found a lot of bodies. They found a lot of bodies in Clinton, penitentiary, Attica, because they killed these guys.
That's why mail, right, and not just to be having correspondence with a girl, but mail is important. Phone calls are important because it shows those institutions that you got people who care about you. Yeah. And you can't just.
You have to show that you're alive. You have to let somebody know that you're alive. If they feel you dead, the police gonna take advantage of you. And they, and they're so racist. This racist that you're talking about, man, it's all through the jails, and that's what went on with me in Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania has a high rate of racist police up there, correction officers and everything.
They all related.
Yeah. So they farmers.
Yeah.
So all of them is, so that's been going on for the longest, and now people discussing that, but they don't see what's going on in the jails.
Well, they can't see. That's the downside. The downside is that they can't see, and part of the problem with a lot of so-called official dudes or unofficial dudes coming in and out of the prisons is that when they come home, they don't give a true account of what's taking place. They talk about how they spent the yard and how they kept it real and how they held it down, but they don't talk about the downside.
But when you come in, when they do have somebody a public official coming to check out to investigate, they clean the joint up for that whole day.
They have inmates doing it.
And you know what's so stupid? Yeah, these inmates follow with that stuff too. Instead of everybody shutting down and telling the official politician, whoever comes in, what's really going on, they comply with these crackers' wishes and make it worse for everybody. So.
And for that one guy who might speak out, they send him to the box. They get rid of him. They isolate him.
Lock them up and beat them down. They disappear. So I mean, it's a whole bunch of stuff we could talk about and go over, but it's something that's common sense, and you have to really do your homework to see what's going on. To know what is happening in the streets and jail, and as you as a parent, but get your kids back in religion first of all, right? And then and try to be more, instead of being judgmental on them, try to be more understanding and relate to them, and like I do my kids. I treat my kids like I'm their best friend. I don't treat them like I'm their father.
Okay.
Why? Because I was gone for all their childhood. I missed them. They was 5 and 3 when I left. Daughter 5, 2 boys 3. So when I came home, I didn't try to put a clamp on them. I tried to make them know that they could kick with me about anything. So we talk. They feel comfortable with me, where they won't feel comfortable with their own mother. But because I'm giving them a fair one, I'm not going to chastise them. I'm going to say, listen, this is what I would do. You do what you want to do. You're a grown man.
Do you ever yell at them?
Well, when I yell at them, it's for something personal between me and them.
Okay.
It ain't got nothing to do with what they doing.
It's not just because.
Nah, it's because if I feel they violated me,
as a man,
then I get on them. But if they doing something and they hurting themselves, I don't yell at them about that. They'll tell me, Dad, Dad, this is da 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 da, and I'll be like, yeah, well, you got to do what you feel is right, kids. But if you ever get caught doing something, don't snitch. Do your time, and that's what I instill on my kids. I don't care what they do, as long as they don't never become no rats.
Take your medicine.
Take your medicine.
I had a few things that I wanted to cover, but you kind of, through the course of the conversation, covered them, and that's a good thing. What I wanted to know was, what's your origin, and how did you get from the streets to incarceration? And you don't have to go too much into that if you don't want to, because the next thing I would want to talk about, and I believe is relevant to those men who are just getting arrested, they just getting their time, or they might be doing time and they might be having a hard time coping. How does one serve 20 plus years in an institution and maintain their sanity and come home with their faculties in order? Because a lot of people come home, and I'm pretty sure you might have seen it on your own, and they may think that they got it all together, but their thoughts are not consistent with reality. So how do you preserve yourself? How do you maintain?
Well, first of all, it ain't easy. So don't think it's a walk in the park. But the same way you maintain out here when you're struggling with the 9 to 5 and everything, God has to bless you. That's what it comes through. People don't realize that. People think that, I was at the foul line, I made them 2 foul shots. No, God let you make them 2 foul shots. So my thing is this: you have to be strong to deal with something like that, because 20-something years killed me. It crushed me. I ain't gonna lie, and it's crushed a lot of my friends. But my sanity is still there. I lost a few things. When it comes to me, inside of me and whatever, my health and all that. But but my thing is this: I never lost my vision.
Okay.
And so you can never lose your vision, and your vision has to be: I'm gonna be out there one day. I'm gonna be a free man. I'm going to get money again. I'm going to be not the same way, but I'm going to get money again. I'm going to be successful. I'm going to get my belt back. Because I felt when they took me in jail, it's like somebody stripping me from my championship belt. I felt I was the champ. So I had to come back and try to be the champ again. But, you know, we are all champs. Mm-hmm. All my brothers that's in jail, all the 10% that didn't tell and home now or in jail, they are all champions to me. And I salute all of them. But I felt personally that I wanted my title back. So I was hungry. So I came out hungry, grinding and stuff. And my cousin, he was telling me, yo, you got to slow down because I was grinding so hard. That's how I got sick again because I wasn't well enough. I was only probably at that time maybe 60%. And I was grinding, and it drove me back to the hospital. So and when he came in there, he said, I told you. He said, you know, you got to listen. I told you, you know, and he was so concerned about me, and we both cried, and we both miss our moms, so we cry about that. But, you know, the whole thing is, he's always been my other half, so he always looks over me to make sure that, you know, I'm alert. And sometimes I'm just hard-headed. So when he was telling me slow down on what I'm doing, I still was doing it. You know, grinding, and it almost took my life again. So that's, you know, that's just how it is. But it's not easy at all. This thing ain't easy to deal with. It's not easy dealing with life now. It's not easy being on the street, trying to fit in with people, try to make $1 in your pocket, try to pay your bills. I mean, everybody gets stagnated. They go to work, come home, do the same thing every week, and they don't have nothing in their pocket to show for it. So it's frustrating. And I keep telling people, you know, all this is a part of you having to be strong and be patient and wait for God to
I'm sorry, let me just cut you off real quick before I lose my thought. So you said frustration, and before that you said belief and vision. So for the brothers, because they're going to read these words, they sitting in themselves, and when they come into the jail, they're going to be looking to read this interview. You said you never lost your vision,
no,
and you never stopped believing that you were going to get your belt back.
I always wanted to go out on top.
And I'm sorry, frustration, because they're going to get frustrated when they come home. They're going to have to deal with some setbacks. I don't care how dope of a hustler you was, or how crafty you was in getting the dollar.
Well, you got to get a job when you come home. So that's the first thing. I mean, you don't have a job, you hit. If you ain't got a foundation of people taking care of you, like that, you know, you might be Jay-Z's man. So you straight. I ain't got to worry about nothing now. I come home, Jay-Z got me. But I didn't have that.
So you need a support system.
You need a support system. So when I came home, even though I knew everybody and I did favors for everybody, nobody seemed to want to do a favor for me.
Even you had to deal with that.
I couldn't get it.
See, because a lot of people, because of who you are, might think that you're exempt from certain things and situations.
Celebrity-wise, one person stuck by me celebrity-wise, and I knew all these dudes and females, and they don't even call me and say hi. You know, but one dude that was a celebrity that was with me from back in the day, and that's a shout out to Charles Oakley from the New York Knicks.
Okay.
Because
salute Charles Oakley.
He made sure I was all right while I was in jail. He made sure he gave me money when I came home from jail. He made sure he gave me money when my mother passed. So, you know, the whole thing is, that's a true friend. Me and Oakley ain't grow up together. We hung out from 80-something when he was a Nick on. And we had a good time. We were bored, you know. But so did Mike Tyson. We all got drunk and hung out together. So did other players, you know. But Oakley showed me that when you with him for free. It ain't nothing how you say it, obligations to the friendship. And that's how I do it with people.
Okay.
Ain't nothing
expectation.
Ain't no expectations.
You just being sincere.
You just being
and
real.
it just so happened that he was sincere as well.
And he did right by me. But there's a lot of other people out here now that can help me get where I need to get. Okay. But they not doing it. A, because maybe they don't like me. I don't know. B, because
you might be too
they harbor snitches. Yeah. They harboring snitches. You know, they'd rather do something for a snitch who ruins somebody's life forever than to do something for a stand-up dude who went to jail and did his time and left everybody else on the street.
Well, because the popular phraseology, and I don't condone it, right? But the popular phraseology is he didn't snitch on me, right? And I really didn't want to get into that yet, but
they say that
he didn't snitch on me.
Just like the snitches say, oh,
he made me do it because he did something
to me. He didn't pay my lawyer. He fucked my girl.
Yeah.
Sorry for cursing. He slept with my girl. He he robbed. He stole money while I was in jail. Man, that's something that you're supposed to handle when you get to see him again.
As a man.
If you don't get to see him again, then it ain't for you to do nothing. But as you to do the dumb stuff and stuff, well, I'm gonna tell on him. I mean, because I'm in jail. I'm miserable. Misery loves company.
So that means you was a creep all the time.
Yeah.
You had
It was in there. It was always in there.
Yeah, you had the creep seed in you, and it was just waiting for a moment of opportunity to manifest itself.
Yeah.
And so the creepness came out. Were there any moments of regret? Like, did you ever feel like, oh man, like this wasn't worth it, right? And it's a tricky question, because by asking you that question, I'm not asking you to acknowledge anything other than that hasn't been acknowledged. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But was the lifestyle, was your experiences,
nothing's worth your freedom. So I don't care how much money we made, and we had a ball, we traveled, we took private jet planes before all these little dudes was talking about doing it. We was doing it. We went to Vegas and been Miami the next day, all type of stuff we done did. We did the Soul Trading Wars, we did all that. But all that fun I had, that 21 years that was taken from me, nah, they don't even up. So I don't care how much money you make, your freedom is most important.
Yeah, because contrary to what people might think about prison, that prison is a very unpredictable environment, right?
Well,
there's no guarantees.
People, when it comes to being incarcerated, the only ones that don't survive, is the weak and the grimy, But if you're a good dude and you stand up and you gonna stand on your principles, you ain't got nothing to worry about. And when I was away, I met a lot of brothers from every state, and they all loved me. So even when my birthdays came up, they all had special days for me. Like DC would make a meal for me.
Yeah.
Baltimore would make a meal for me. Dudes from all the time, because I'm a real dude, and they know I'm a real dude. And you can say anything you want about me. I don't like Shue because he won all the basketball championships when we was in jail. They can say that. They can say he ate good in jail, he lived good, but you can never say that A, I wasn't a stand-up dude, B, I wasn't a fair dude, C, you can always come and talk to me. Just now, like now, everybody comes and holler at me. I get more visits from the 10% that came home than anybody in the United States, I bet. Dudes that come home, come see me. Come kick it with me, call me, keep in touch, we go eat, Snitches can't do that. They can't trust each other. So they don't have no get-togethers, they don't hang out.
There's no loyalty, there's no
loyalty.
The inner constitution is not built for that.
So with me it's different, because I ain't got no nothing to hide. So dudes come see me, they know I'm gonna give it to them real. Whatever they want to know, I'm gonna tell them how I feel. So that's it. But it's the kids that's coming up that we need to try to get right, because the kids, and I'm not even gonna call them kids, young men and young ladies, they need to be better than what they're doing. I don't understand how it wasn't like this 20-something years ago when I was gone, before I left. So now, 20-something years, this whole joint is crazy out here. It's like no respect, They just want to live the life and don't know what the life means. They want to take a life and don't know how important, serious taking a life is.
I'm sorry, before we get to that, I want to ask you another question, because I was going to definitely ask you about the state of the game and how you see it today. But before we get to that, in your best recollection, how do you feel from the time that you was in to the time that you got released, that the prison environment changed? What do you think that when you came in it was one way and when you left it was?
Well, I mean, it was some shit all the time I was in there. It just gets worse and worse, but because the facilities don't want to spend no money, so they don't care how the places is, and that's why people get staph, all kind of infections and stuff. You know, they're not taking care of the people that you incarcerated. They're not rehabilitating the brothers, like they teaching them old stuff that doesn't pertain to what's going on out here now when it comes to computers and stuff. So my thing is this: the jail is supposed to be to where you get rehabilitated, but there's no such thing as rehabilitation. All it is a revolving door to go in and out. So I don't see the jails ever getting better.
More in terms of the character of the inmates, you know, how have you seen a change, or is it just the same quality of men coming through those doors?
What came through the doors is what's going on out here. You know, because most of them dudes that come in jail now is lost. I'm talking about major loss, and they're not trying to think about their future. What they're trying to think about is how I'm gonna get this fast money again. You know, so there is no future in that, because if you come out here and start doing crazy stuff again, they got a place for you, and you've been there. So you know, and like I said, you know, until they change the laws where a drug dealer doesn't get that crazy time, then it's a suicide mission. You know, every day's a suicide mission right now. But you know, I just tell the young brothers, be careful. Whatever you do, be careful. I mean, I can't be a hypocrite and tell them not to do things that I did. But I can tell you, are you able to handle that? Because if you can't do 10 years, 20 years, then don't sell 10 to 20 years worth of drugs. Look at the statutes, find out what you could go to jail for, and okay, I can only do 2 years. Okay, you sell 2 years worth of drugs, you know, for your penalty. If you do more than that, then the chances of you telling is high, because you
stepped
can't
out
handle
of your
it.
arena.
You stepped out of your range.
But that requires forethought, right? That requires discipline.
Everything.
And that requires planning. I mean, I'm not in the game, you know what I'm saying? No more in the way that I used to be. We got to be creative and do other things, but we can see, because we know people. We know, we in the world. We don't see the discipline. We don't see integrity. We don't see people who respect the lady coming through the hallway. You right? Back in the days, if a dude was smoking a blunt, they would hide the blunt until Mrs. Moore walked past.
Yeah.
Now they smoke in front of Miss
Right.
Moore.
That's right. They don't help an old lady with her bags. They don't try to do nothing for the homeless. It's more so of, you know, I'm lost. I'm just gonna do anything I want to do, and that's what they do. So then they latch on to some guys that's brainwashing them, and they follow these dudes. And what happens, because you're a follower, when he fall off the cliff, you go right off the cliff with him.
Yeah.
I ain't never been no follower. I always been a leader. So, and my whole team was always leaders. Everybody. So we don't follow nobody. We take a voting system, and what we decide on out by the majority vote. But never will we follow, a person to the grave because he's a dummy. Because you got to hope that he is not a dummy. If you go and follow this man, he's leading you everywhere, and you go back into all the great leaders from back in before Christ and after Christ, and all them leaders, going back to Caesar, Genghis Khan, and all them leaders, them dudes that followed them went down like the Titanic, because they believed in one person that is on earth to make their life. I believe in God, who is not on earth to make my life. That's the only one I follow.
Okay. So let me take a spin on things, because we spent some time inside the prisons, right? But it's all for a purpose, because not only is it a conversation or a interview, but it's more of a manual, right? We're using this opportunity to kind of talk about things that these young men and some old men they can read and they can reflect and they can sit in that cell because they're going to be in the cell, and they can get some guidance. You know what I'm saying? They can read your words. So we have a platform, and that's what Urban Life News Magazine is. It's a platform to talk directly to the guy who's either misguided, misunderstood, confused, or he might be on the verge of doing something stupid and foolish, right? So we have an opportunity to talk with Peter Shue, somebody who's been through it, somebody who played the game fair and is honorable, and we can gain some insight from what you've been through.
But don't get it twisted, right? There's old heads out here, OGs, that teach you on. So a lot of these brothers, and I seen this when I was away too. They try to sun these young brothers instead of just trying to give them their advice, let them rock with it. And these OGs is, everybody has a motive, and what they do, I still can't figure out what they trying to do with the young brothers. Some of these OGs out here that's supposed to be teaching and leading, and they can't teach and lead because they've been followers all their life. So all of a sudden they want to step up and be a leader. And I laugh at this, because you can't see through this. You can't see these people have no clue what's going on, but you're going to follow them. How smart is that? You're willing to be a puppet. You're willing to be a soldier. Man, listen. What do we say to them OGs, right? Or so-called, because if you're moving like that, then you are like a half a G. What do we say to an OG that's taking advantage of these young guys who really don't have a clue? An OG that's doing that, right, is really in violation, because the young brothers and sisters is our future. You're not going to be there like that. You're an OG. You're going to go and fall back. So give them the right advice. Let them make their own determination. Don't you try to force something on them, but give them good advice. Most of the advice that's given to these young brothers and sisters is negative, and I've seen it in the jails. And I used to have to step up and say something, because I like to not get into none of that stuff, because you grown men and grown women and you have to do what you feel is right. But when I see it getting out of hand, then I have to say something, and then I got to go blast the OG because he's wrong. He might be the same age as me, but I still blast him and say, "Yo, what are you doing?" Oh, I think they got to do this. They got to do that. Look, when was you ever a boss? That's the first question I'm going to ask. When was you ever a boss? Because if you was never a boss, you shouldn't be doing this at all. And when you are a boss, your team, the people you love, should never have to say nothing negative about your decisions, because your decision was in the best interest of the team, not in the best interest of yourself. And that's what these OGs are doing. They're making decisions with the best interest for themselves. I make decisions right now for the best interest of the team. So I wear all these clothing lines and everything. I support everybody. I don't charge them. I wear this stuff because I want to see them successful. You know how many times people be like, "Oh, when we get right, we're going to make sure you have this. We're going to." I'm good. My blessing is seeing a brother coming home, getting himself back on his feet, and being successful. I mean, if they look out and help me out, cool. But I'm not looking for that. I'm looking to show these snitches and snakes and everything that real dudes can come back and be successful. Prime example, Kevin Childs, Don Diva magazine. Shout out to Don Diva. Carter Vopadope. He got probably some of the best parties they throw out here now. So it's those are two of my close friends, and there's more people that's doing good, and YTL with the clothing line, he did time. I Am the Life that I wear, I'm on now. Okay. And who is I Am Life, real quick, so we can just give them a shout out. Divine, that's my man, Divine. Divine. Yeah. Also, we got I Am Life by Divine. I Am the Life by Divine. Okay. YTL by Lefty. Triangular by BBI. Repeat that. Triangular. We'll spell it for you later on. And 33T I'm wearing now from Pittsburgh. Good dude, Turk and them.
Okay.
Shout out to them. I wear their stuff. And am I missing anybody that I wear? No, I'm all right. So I wear, I just promote. And then like when people want me to come to the radio shows, I come and do that, promote that. I do that out of kindness of my heart because I don't really have to go to all them things.
True.
I already have the book out. We waiting on a movie deal. So we already, we set. We just like to show that we ain't better than nobody else. We all in the same boat. So I go to do, as long as no snitches is there, I go anywhere. If the snitches is there, I don't go. So,
okay, so you mentioned the book, right? And this is the book right here.
Yeah.
The Life of the Party.
The Peter Shue story.
The Peter Shue story.
And that's me and my cousin on the book right here. That's my cousin, and that's me.
Okay.
Back in the day.
And so we're going to definitely put a page we're going to put some information inside the next issue.
Where they can get the book.
Yeah, where they can get the book at. Because you got to support. We got to support our own.
We got it. I can't help y'all if y'all don't help me. That's how I see it. Because the more money I make, the more money I could put into what I want to do, which is, we talk about that. The kids, the homeless people, and our brothers that need help, that's locked up. That's my goals. The ones that come home, I point them in the right direction where they need to go. If they try to, whatever they want to do construction,
yeah.
I'll hook them up with construction jobs. They want to do. If I can do it, I can do it. If I can't do it. Mm-hmm. But I try my best to get people back in the game. And the game meaning where life is a game.
Yeah. So
the game meaning that you in the game, you got a job, you got a place to stay, you got a free man. I keep you in the game if I can.
Yeah.
So
that's a fact, and that's honorable. We're gonna wrap it up in a minute, but there's just a few things I want to touch on before we go on. And I don't want to keep harping on the prison thing, but it's important that we utilize this moment and this opportunity to just reach back. And how important is paperwork to you, right?
Well,
it's a big
talk
thing.
about to see if they told them that.
Yeah,
Well, in the jail, paperwork.
Paperwork.
So in the jails, right? In the jails, it's important to show your credibility. But they tamper with all that paperwork in jail too. So it's hard to find out who told and who didn't. But I know the certain people that I know that I grew up with or know of that's very important to me. I know they told them that. And like, even if I'm in Baltimore, I mean not Baltimore per se, but I have friends in Baltimore, and one of them is they'll be so close to me. I know if he ain't messing with somebody, something wrong.
Okay.
So I ain't gotta go through all that stuff. But as far as New York, basically, I know the real and I know the fake. There's a lot of dudes in jail running around saying they ain't hot and they hot. And all right, if it means nothing to you though, it means if it ain't that serious, then why don't you come out and be a man and tell people you told? Why they don't do that? They keep talking about hiding the fact that they snitched on somebody. Okay, if it's not that try to shoot it down. If it's not that detrimental, then why won't you come out and tell everybody that you told? Why don't you be a man and say, I told on this guy. I told on that guy. And see what the people judge you on. That's what you need to do. But they're not going to do that because a lot of them is faking.
Show what you got.
So they're not going to do that. So that paperwork thing to me is miscellaneous. But I don't socialize like that anyway. So when I was away, I picked the ones that's on the same criteria as me. We ain't got to be the same. Who's smarter or who's better? What you have in common with me is what matters. Because if you like to go out there in the snow and take your clothes off and just jump in the snow, I'm not into that. I'm not going to be. What should I be around with a guy like that for? You know what I'm saying? If you into child molested kids, I'm not into that. Why should I be around a guy like that? So I pick and choose who I want to be around. I pick brains.
Okay.
I go around people that can help me, that was able to help me through my bid with knowledge. Okay. And not that supernatural knowledge where they talk about they the earth and the river and they do this and that and they could. listen, if you could do all that, get me out of jail. Because you got a lot of people going around talking about, yeah, they know this and they know that, and they don't know jack shit.
And can't make it work for them.
Can't make it work. I like to see things in black and white. Show me something that's going to tell me that I am, and can be Peter Shue again. That's what I wanted. And there's a few people that taught me that. And I want to give a shout out to my man Warren from Baltimore.
Shout out to Warren.
Because he was he's the original Wire.
Oh.
They stole his stuff. Man, you might want to do an interview with him too.
I heard something about.
Yeah, Warren is. Let me talk about Warren a little bit. Warren was the plot of the movie they stole from him while he was in jail. The snitches again. So he is the real Wire dude. But they did the story messed up, and I hope he's working on fixing it now so he can come back and do it.
Well, they did it for entertainment purposes.
But he didn't get paid for none of that. They stole it from him. But he's a real good dude, and he did like 30. And I love him and respect him.
Home?
Yeah, he's home. Me in Baltimore.
All right.
And I talk to him. I call him and make sure he's all right.
Okay,
but
that's cool.
Corey, my man, little Corey from Baltimore. Shout out to him too. Another strong individual they could do movies on. Ice and them from New York with the Boy George case. There's so many people you can do movies on. Ice is home.
Okay.
Ice is a good dude. And Ice gave back life.
All right.
So he gave back life. Ended up doing close to 30, but he gave back life. So he really beat the system. It's hard to beat the system, but he was one of the few that beat it. So there's a lot of good brothers out there.
Beating the system, and I'm sorry for cutting you off. Beating the system, because a lot of people get in time sometimes, and I don't want to trample on anybody's hopes, but sometimes we are delusional. Beating the system requires, in your opinion, money or knowledge or both. How do people turn over situations, or is it just?
What stage are you talking about, Tyson? Because it's different. Now we talking about beating the system while you're in jail.
Yeah,
beating the system while you're in jail.
Some time back or to get back out, or
you trying to become a free man.
Yeah.
Now beating the system when you come home and make money, that's another phase. Everything is a phase when you go through in life, and when you get caught up in this web that the government puts you in, and you put yourself in, but they help, and the snitches make it. They just seal the coffin. You have to fight. You got to fight to get out. So you got to do everything you possibly can to get out. And then you have these jailhouse lawyers, a lot of them faking, just taking money from these dudes, and dudes don't have that much money for you taking their money and then can't do nothing for them.
Charging all that money for paperwork.
Put some garbage brief together that ain't gonna get you nowhere. And I went through that, because I was desperate to get home too. Shoot, I had 25 years. I said, damn, let me get this throw this 2,500 at this guy like do some prep. And it never nothing transpired. So
there's probably somebody, not to mess up anybody's hustle, right? But some of these jokers got to be exposed. There's somebody in one of these institutions that are trying to scrape up some money from their family who don't really got it to pay somebody who's going to put together terrible situation for them.
That's true. So it's the whole thing is again, God plays a big plan in your life. Let me tell you some incidents, because people maybe they need Jews to make them figure out that this is about God. It ain't about you. Because I'm gonna give you a true incident. One time I would call my mother, right, and she told me that this might be her last time me talking to her. This was years before she had passed. And I said, "What's wrong?" She said, "Well, they got to operate on my heart again, and I don't think, because it's not working right, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to last another operation." So she cried, I cried, I called Terry and all them, I called everybody was, upset over it. And I went in there with my brothers that prayed every night, and they came in there like 20 deep. I was in Atlanta at the time, and they came in there and prayed with me. And the next day, I couldn't talk to her because she's in the hospital, so I was just waiting for the phone call, where they police say go to the lieutenant's office or go to the chaplain, thinking something might happen. But you tell me who did this. They had her on the operating table. She was sedated already. They was getting ready to cut up, open her heart, and all of a sudden, the medicine kicked in to where her heart was beating normal. And the doctor was getting ready. He was like 2 minutes from cutting her open, and she probably wouldn't have survived the operation. And he said, Ho, ho, ho. He said, look at the machine, her heart's beating. Like, shut it down, take her up. They took her back upstairs. So, who did that? See what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't do it, but the power of the prayer did it.
Yeah.
But God heard our hearts. And he said, listen, let me take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing when I was dying. Same thing when I was sick. You know, I told him, yo, don't take me. Let me get to see my mother. This is when I was in jail. So let me get to see my mother before I die. And he brought me back. So I could say, oh, it was the doctors that did it. I could say it was the luck of the Irish. I could say anything, but in all reality, it was God. And that's the only one that could tell me anything. Nobody else could tell me nothing because they don't know nothing. They still learning. So that's what you have to realize out here when you deal with individuals. Brothers are still learning and making mistakes, and you don't want to be a part of their mistake. So do your own homework, do your own vision, have your own vision. You'll feel better. You're going to make mistakes, but you'll feel better about your mistake that you made than you letting somebody else make it and you following up.
Salute. Okay, listen, brother, again, I know I already said, I probably said it a few times, but I want to thank you for inviting me into your space.
All the time. You're always welcome, you know.
And we appreciate
because you're doing something positive, you know, with this magazine, and it's going to the jails, and, you know, a lot of my brothers are still in there, and I want them to see things like this, and see this interview that I just did, and know that, you know, like Michael Jackson said, you're not alone. I'm always with my brothers, and they could call me, they all call me, they all reach out to me. I'm not able to do what I want to do for everybody yet, but once I get this movie deal, I'm gonna make sure everybody all right. But right now, you know, I'm grinding, and it's like I got a lot of opposition. I got the devil, I got the snitches, I got the haters, you know. So I don't have nobody positive from that elite that can help, like Lionsgate, Netflix, all of them they can come to me. I got better movie screenplays than everybody, but all they gotta do is take a look at it. So my thing is this: I don't pout or nothing like that. I just be patient because I know it is my destiny to get my belt back, and God's gonna bless me with that. And just like He did with Job, the book of Job, you know, I know I'm gonna get that type of relief sooner than later. But the whole thing is, you know, my burden is more than the average person because I have a team, my family, which I call my the 10%, which is everybody that stand up, and so I have to make sure all of them is right. So it's harder for me to get things going because I have a lot on my plate to serve and make sure brothers is good. Not because I have to do it, because I want to do it. Because I realized when I was in there during that time and had nobody there, you know, but had a couple of people there, but these people don't have nobody there. A lot of times their parents passed away early, or people just say F them. But Peter Shue's not going to say F y'all because you're stand-up dudes, and I'm not going to leave you for dead. But I'm trying to get myself to where I'm in position to help all the way around the board. Whereas it financially, whereas it trying to get them released from jail on the non-violent drug offenses, whether it's to get them released from jail on a justifiable violence, because it was either you gonna get killed or they're gonna kill you or you kill them. You know how the thing goes. But it shouldn't be your whole entire life in jail. But see, since these crackers don't really know about that life, they come down and want to just hammer us instead of doing some probes and find out what's really going on. What's really going on in society, to where, again, don't take a person's life because he's a drug dealer and never let him come home. Don't take a person's life that only had violence when they was going against each other in the street atmosphere of they had to do it, then yeah, you got to give them some time because life was taken, but don't take the rest of their life
because they can't pick where they was born at.
And that's right.
If they was born in an environment where violence is prevalent, then you have to measure them based on the environment that they're from.
And all the drugs and the guns all come from them. We would never have drugs, guns, or whatever in this country if it wasn't for the government. So what they're doing is a double standard of what they believe in. Just like if somebody snitched when they was in the army, they court-martialed them and you know, give them life or maybe kill them. I don't know what they was doing, but they condone snitching now. They try to get everybody to become snitches, but they didn't like the snitches that was telling them, like if they was when they was fighting Germany and the Germany guys, the Germans got the prisoner and they tortured him, and he started saying, okay, the plans is his. They was court-martialing them people, and these people was really getting tortured to tell. These dudes down here ain't getting tortured to tell. These dudes just be telling like before you get in the car.
No, they get a hamburger. You know, you ever see First 48? They get a hamburger, right, and a cold Pepsi, and before they can bite the sandwich, they they tell where the body is at and everything else. And
the whole thing is that's why it's so weak out here now. Brothers are so weak out here, and you know, and people be like, oh, we could do the 20 the Million Man March and do that. That does nothing. You want to give it a Million Man March for what? To put more money in the pockets? Because you're paying the transportation, you're paying for the hotels, you're paying for the food. All crackers own these places. So what are you doing? What are you doing? So you doing that to say what? You making a statement? Then you have these people going on telling, you know, these activists, you know, try to lead and do this, and they doing some grimy stuff. I don't want to put no names out there, but one activist had people sleeping outside the jail that they had locked them up in the federal joint, and they supposed to be a food strike. Now I was in the jail in the joint at the time.
Yeah.
The man was eating. The police came and told me the man was eating.
While his people outside
in the tents or whatever, hot, sleeping outside. He's a one of them activists.
Yeah.
He's eating.
He in the jail eating octopus and rice.
CO told me, came and told me, yo, you won't believe, man, because they shut down a whole tier for him. And they say this man's eating. He's eating fried chicken and all type of stuff. Meanwhile, the people that's following him, they outside in the cold, starving for this dummy, because his how you say, his game plan he put together. In all reality, he wasn't going by that, and that's why we fool. Everything is based on trickery. They are tricking us.
It's the same old game, and they just keep repackaging it on us.
Man, it's so crazy, man.
They keep repackaging the same old game on us and give it a different name, right? It's like a corporation that get caught doing something inside the business. They shut it down and change the corporation name and do the same thing all over again.
Yeah. So, what basically we have to do, you know, we have to be smarter than that. We have to learn for ourselves. We have to stop being followers and be leaders. We have to. You know, apply ourselves to goals that we know we can reach. Never will I say I'm going to be something I know I can't be. I can't go out there, well, I'm going to be LeBron James. You know? Reality has to set in on what you're trying to do in life. And if you get to a point where you can't know the difference between reality and dreaming, then you lost. You have to know what is going on and know what you can handle, what you can deal with. That's all across the board. In a relationship, you see how rough these relationships are. Relationships is rough. They hard to maintain. Coming home and reestablishing yourself in society is hard, real hard. And some people never get to that point. And some people have, outlets and still don't get to where they gotta get. You know, so like I said, I always use Jay-Z as an example because I mean, if you blessed and you come home and he got you, then you know you got 50 cents, Puffy. Yeah, you good. But suppose you don't have that. How do you get there? How do you get there with a minimum wages to pay your rent and buy clothes and buy all the things you want to buy? And now you used to back in the day getting money. Now you got an EBT card. So you know,
these are things these brothers got to think about before they get here. Before we go, and you can say their names because that's what it's about. You know, a big part of what we do on Urban Life News Magazine is we shout out. We have an area called Shoutouts, and that's where we put a picture of an incarcerated loved one, brother, sister, homie, friend, and we give some words to them. So you talk to whoever you feel like that's incarcerated right now, and you can say whatever you want to say because whatever you say right now is going to go directly to them.
Yeah, so my shout out would be to all the stand-up brothers in jail that didn't tell. You know, all over the United States, even if I don't know y'all by name, I salute y'all, the ones that stood up. And for all the snitches that's in there, y'all can go to hell. Straight up and down. You know, I hope y'all never come home. But the ones that didn't tell, I hope y'all come home. I hope we can make your landing a positive and a safe one. And you know, always know that if you ain't got nobody else, you got Peter Shue that love y'all and respects y'all and would always try to keep your name alive because regardless if you ain't been home in 30 years, 40 years, people need to know that you're a good dude, you know. And we got a lot of good brothers coming home soon too. So, and some came home, so we need them out here. But like I said, those are ones I give my shout outs to, you know, like I know the snitches gonna see this too, so I let them know, you know. I ain't got no love for y'all, you know, because you'll ruin people's lives, so y'all can go to hell.
In closing, right, not only is we talk about criminal justice specific topics. Who was your favorite rapper, man? Biggie or Tupac?
Well,
we got who you going with, man? Biggie or Tupac?
You know, I wasn't really into rap. You know.
Oh, you wasn't into rap?
No, I could go farther back.
Do you have a favorite now? Who?
No, I would tell you my favorite was before.
So you ain't got nobody right now that you feel in particular?
I listen to the Temptations.
Okay, Delphonics.
That's okay. But if I had to go to my all-time famous rapper, it would have been Rakim.
Okay.
Because, I used to listen to how he kicked his lyrics and all that. Man, the man's a genius, and a lot of people got their swagger from him. I mean, you got a lot of people out there that can kick it, and Nas is one of them. You know, so you know you have, and shout out to Nas and Jadakiss because, you know, when I came home, they were so happy to see me and saluted me and showed me a lot of love. And Jadakiss and P Diddy mentioned my name in their song "Old Man Wildin" when it came out.
Okay, that's
the same year I came home. That was 2015. So it's just that I never was into rap. You know, I mean, I'm an R&B man. You know, I listen to 5 Heartbeats and stuff like that. I never listen. I wasn't that in my car. You're not gonna get that. You're gonna get, you know, Frankie Beverly and Maze.
You get something smooth.
Yeah, something like the club joints.
We didn't touch on it, and I kind of saved it for the very last moment.
Yeah.
And I know you talk about it in your book. So if people really want to hear about it, they gotta go purchase the book.
Yeah, the book is
Madonna.
You can get the book about Madonna and see everything about it. We've been on the newspapers, TMZ, Inside Edition, all them.
So you give it up inside the book where people can read about it in detail.
Yeah, they can read about it in detail, and you can go on Fam I Got You, Google Fam I Got You, and you'll get a personal signed copy from me.
Okay, Fam I Got You.
Fam I Got You. We on iTunes. We on Barnes and Nobles. We on Amazon. We on Ingram. I can't hear you. Ingram Spark. So we, again, he handles all that, so he's more equipped to give information out on that. But the book is hot. Everybody loves it. You know, wants it to read it over and over again, and we're doing doing better out of the country than in the United States. It should be doing more better in the United States because
you gotta support your own, man. I'm sorry, man. You gotta support your own. That's part of the problem. We don't support our own. New York, 5 boroughs: Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Manhattan, even Suffolk County and Nassau County. You want to emulate the lifestyle, but you don't want to pay homage. You don't want to give back. Give back, man, and pick up a book. Because there was once a saying, and we all know the saying, right? If you wanted to hide something from a black man, put it in the book. So we gotta start reading again, man. Reading is fundamental to growth and development, and for developing some basic comprehension on how to act and how to react to the many situations that we're gonna get involved in. This is your boy Tyson with Urban Life News. Paperwork good. We got the brother Peter Shue, and stay tuned for more. Get the next issue. It's gonna be issue number 4. Read the interview. That's it. Any closing words?
Yeah, to the people in the world, think. It ain't illegal. That's one thing they can't take from you. Thinking. So think. Use your mind. You know why people coming around you. Know the motives. And when it comes to the book again, all the money I get for the book, I reinvest it for purposes to help people. So don't think, I don't want to buy the book from Peter Shue because he go in his pocket. Nah, Peter Shue's taking that money and do other things with it. And if you know me, if you really know me, like the brothers that knew me for 20 years, know that's what I'm about. I'm not going to be the richest man in the world because I want to make sure we all good. So that's just how it is.
Peace.
Peace.